How you doing, guys? Let me get my mic on here. Let me share this real quick. Awesome. Hey, guys. Welcome to Mondays Live. My name is Dr. Nathan Thompson with Exemplify Health Center, your Wellness Way affiliate right here in Yorkville, Illinois. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a great weekend. I finished putting up Christmas lights. I know, too soon, but it's 2020, so who cares? All right. So good evening, guys. Always appreciate you jumping on. I'll wait just a little bit for a few more people to come on. If you are watching, say hello if you can or if you dare, and let me know where you're watching from. I get so much joy on seeing where people are from. I'm kind of a geography freak. So I like looking at maps and atlases and things like that. So hi, Jackie. How are you? Sherry, good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. So again, let me know, guys, where you are watching from. We have people from all over the country that watch, so I always appreciate you guys. Let me know where you guys are from. Chris, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Nancy, how are you doing? Nancy is also my mother. So I hope you are doing well, Mom. I will drive by your house later on tonight, and I'll give you a honk. I live just down the street from my parents. So they are some pretty amazing people and amazing parents. And they're also good at yard work, something I hate doing. All right, guys, so if you guys see the title of today, I'm going to try to keep it short because I need to head on out pretty soon. So, but this is interesting because I want to give you a different perspective on sickness, illness, disease, whatever you want to call it. But the title of today is Why Most Health Issues Are More Like a Scab Than They Are, in fact, a Disease. Dr. Nate, what on earth do you mean by that? And I'm going to show you. So I want you guys to just open your mind, and I'm going to give you a little bit different perspective. And in fact, I'm also going to talk about why this has everything to do with like COVID-19 as well. And also make sure you watch this all the way to the end because I have a really exciting announcement that has to do with you as someone who watches and shares and likes our page. It's a really important announcement that is going to be coming up, and you don't want to miss that at the end. So let's talk about why most health issues are more like a scab than a disease. Now watch. Most of the time, we go to a doctor and they tell us that we have some kind of disease. Like we might have asthma, we might have reflux, we might have some kind of autoimmunity, we might have high blood pressure, we might have type 2 diabetes. Heck, I will even go as far as cancer. And usually what they'll say is it's just genetic. You know, the good news is we can give you a medication to suppress the symptoms. Bad news is you're going to need to take the medications for the rest of your life, and there is nothing that you can do. But I'm going to give you a different perspective today on how, with the Wellness Way approach, how we actually start to look at things a little bit differently, okay? Now to do that, I want to give you a little bit of context, okay? So what you guys see right here is you see, obviously someone has fallen down and they have skinned their knee. And so they can see they're clutching that skinned knee. So let's say that you decided, hey, I'm going to go out on a run, and you know you're a mile into the run and you hit a buckle in the sidewalk, you fall down and you scab your knee or you skin your knee. So I want you to think of this. When you scab your knee or you skin your knee, is that an illness or is that an injury? Now I know you already know the answer. It's an injury. I want you to think about it. What would happen when you skin your knee? So you're going to notice that you're going to have an acute inflammatory process. You can see this taking place. You can see that there's going to be some redness. There might be some swelling. There might be some pain. Those are all the symptoms of what's known as acute inflammation. Now, we talk a lot about in the Wellness Way about inflammation, how literally inflammation is this spark. It's the spark that triggers, you know, the flames of disease inside the body. But that's not to say that acute inflammation is bad. Acute inflammation is actually great. You need to have an acute inflammatory response in order to stimulate healing inside the body, but it starts to become bad when it's chronic, unrelenting, and it never ends. Because then what happens is you are forcing your body to adapt into a different physiology to survive. So I want you to think of this. If you fell down and you skinned your knee, okay, really the only thing, now you may want to put something on it, in order to, make sure you don't get an infection, but that happens to me. I literally just leave it alone. I don't do anything. I leave it alone. But the idea is that if you left it alone, see, think of this. In order for that scab or that skin need to heal, you don't need to run a 5K. You don't need to eat a bunch of kale, and you don't need to take a nap and get more sleep in order for that to happen. You're going to understand that in order for this to be able to heal, the first thing that you have to do is to stop injuring it and leave it alone. See, guys, when you look at so many different health issues, they're so similar. They are so similar to having a skin knee, is that there's been some kind of insult, and if you would just stop insulting it all the time, you would give the body a chance to be able to recover and be able to heal. So let me give you a different perspective, because this week, when you see all of these, COVID cases, and they're saying it's worse than ever before, it's terrible, it's going out of control, it's going crazy. I have gotten so many messages, guys, from people who are saying, hey, I was diagnosed with COVID-19, and here's what they say. Dr. Nate, what supplements can I take to help this scab to heal? Okay? So I want you to think of this, because they're not saying scab, they're saying, what supplements can I take in order to heal from COVID? What supplements do I need to take in order to help me with my blood sugar? What supplements can I take in order to help me heal from my high blood pressure? What supplements can I take in order to help me heal from my gut issues? What supplements can I take in order to help this scab heal? Okay, and this is the first thing, because guys, so many people ask me a question, and it's such a simple question that deserves a deeper answer, all right? Because a lot of times I'm saying, oh, okay, where do I even start, all right? So this is where I'm actually going to start. This is where I'm going to start. Dr. Nate says this: please stop picking at the scab. That's the first step. You got to stop picking at the scab. Because think of this. If you skin your knee and you leave it alone, you're going to have an acute inflammatory process that's going to last for that maybe 5 to 7 days. The acute inflammation is going to work its way out. It's going to stimulate healing. It's going to scab over. Your job at that point is to leave it alone. Don't do anything with it. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to pray about it. You don't have to eat a bunch of kale. All you have to do, your job is just to not pick at it and leave it alone and let natural healing take place. So the first thing, guys, when it comes to any kind of health issue, we first and foremost need to do this. We need to figure out what we are doing to pick at our chronic health issues. So think of this. How many times do you actually go to a medical doctor? Let me give you an example. If you woke up every morning and you said, you know what, this scab is bad. Something's going wrong here. This looks ugly. I'm just going to pick at this scab. If you picked at it every single day, a year later, you still would have a scab. And so think of this. If you're like, well, I'm really worried that this scab is not healing, I better go to my medical doctor. And the doctor looks at that and says, that hasn't healed in a whole entire year. Well, you obviously have some kind of scabitis or some kind of crazy medical term that's going to scare the bejesus out of you. And they're going to say, well, here, I guess you need to take this anti-scab medication, and you're going to take it maybe for the rest of your life. This looks like a chronic condition. But when you think about it, the medical doctor never said, hey, are you picking at this scab? And you say yes. And he says, well, first and foremost, stop picking at it. And this is what we do in the Wellness Way approach, is we're really good at seeing what you are doing to pick at the proverbial scab every single day, which is why it is not healing, all right? So let me give you a perfect example. This actually has to do with type 2 diabetes. Because guys, think of this. Type 2 diabetes is not an illness. It is an injury. So think of this. If someone can heal from type 2 diabetes, it is not then an illness. It is not genetic. It is an injury, and you keep picking at your diabetes scab, which is why you have not recovered from type 2 diabetes, because you haven't stopped picking at the scab. So I got some new blood work from a gentleman who we've been working with for about the last about 4 months or so. And so he actually got some new blood work. You can actually see from 2018, 2019, later in 2019, and then you can see 11/11/2020. And you can see, if you look at his fasting glucose, it's gone from 126 a year ago down to 80. So his fasting glucose is down to 80, which is perfect, okay? So here he went from type 2 diabetes to perfect. And then you look at his triglycerides, which, guys, this is a lot worse than your HDL, your LDL, your total cholesterol levels. Triglycerides are actually the worst type of quote-unquote cholesterol. And so you can see he actually went from 232, 154, 165, and wait a second, he went all the way down to 97. Not perfect yet, but a whole heck of a lot better. So here's a guy who went from being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes to no longer being a type 2 diabetic. And the thing was, and the first thing that we did is we figured out, hey, where are you picking at the scab, and stop picking it. Stop picking it. Because I want you to think of this, guys. It doesn't matter what supplement you take. It doesn't matter. None of that matters, because if you keep picking at it, you are still going to create an inflammatory response that will never end. Your job is to figure out where you are picking at your chronic health conditions, because again, they'll never ever heal if you have chronic inflammation. It will never fully heal, and supplements at that point do not matter. The purpose of a supplement is to buy you time while you dig yourself out of the hole with your lifestyle. So I want you to think of this. You guys all realize, you guys all know that if you had a scab and you fell down and you skinned your knee 10 times out of 10, that scab is going to heal as long as you allow it to heal. You don't pick at it every single day. So I want you to think of this. If your body can heal a scab, then why can't it heal from chronic pain? Why can't it heal from hormone issues? Why can't it heal from autoimmunity? Why can't it heal from acid reflux, from sinus issues, from headaches, from allergies? Why can't it heal from that? And the reason why is because you've never addressed what you are doing to constantly pick at that scab to promote a chronic inflammatory response. And again, nothing will heal the way that it's supposed to if it is chronically inflamed. Guys, you understand, we had a woman today who has had headaches since she was 6 years of age. Headaches for 30 years. She said, Dr. Nate, for the first time, I don't have headaches every single day. Why? Because we figured out where she was picking at the scab. What about hormone issues, guys? Autoimmunity. Guys, this is even true with my wife. My wife had an antibody count against her thyroid that was sky high. And we actually just did a new blood test with her, but even the last one that we did about 3.5, 4 months ago showed that her antibody count has gone down almost 10 times to the point where it's actually almost normal now. What about acid reflux, guys? Acid reflux is not an illness, it's an injury, and the things that you are doing every single day is actually continue to make it worse. It never gets the chance to heal. Do you guys know how long it takes for acid reflux to be able to heal? It will take some people about 4 weeks, some people 8 to 10 weeks, and they're able to get off of their acid reflux medication. Why? Because we know where you are picking at the scab. So allergies, we just had a woman today, she's like, this is the first time in years that I'm not on any kind of allergy medication. She says, at this time of the year, I'm usually on 3 different ones and I am not on any. Why is that? Because we've figured out what she was doing to pick at the scab of her immune system. So think about it. If the body can heal a scab, then it should be able to heal from all of these other issues. And yes, I will go as far as to say it will heal from cancer, okay? So who heals cancer? The body does. And so it doesn't matter what health issue that you have going on. It doesn't matter if it's asthma. It doesn't matter if it's headaches. All you have to do is figure out where you're picking at the scab. And if you can do that, and you can start lowering inflammation, that's the first step for healing to be able to take place. Now, I know this is news. We always like to make things relevant to the news. Let's talk about COVID, okay? So what on earth does this have to do with COVID? Well, let me give you an example, okay? So let's go back to us falling down and skinning our knee, okay? So let me ask you a question. Why does the tissue get infected here, but not over here, or not over here, or not over here? And the reason why is because it's going to get infected because this barrier has been damaged. That barrier has been injured. And any time that you start to injure barriers inside the body, whether it's the skin, whether it's the lungs, whether it's the gastrointestinal system, genitourinary tract, any time that you are damaging a barrier that separates the outside environment to the body's internal environment, you will then run the risk of more likely that being infected. So here you have the scab on the knee. That's the area that's going to be infected. Why? Because the barriers have been breached and you have damaged and you have inflamed tissues. So why on earth? What does that have to do with actually COVID? Let me give you an example. So COVID is actually it affects the lungs. And in fact, COVID will actually attach the ACE2 receptors that line the barriers of your lungs. It's how the virus attaches to the ACE2 receptors. Don't get me into it. It goes with the renin-angiotensin system that regulates water retention, blood pressure, and things like that. But it attaches to that. So think of this. If you have sick lung barriers, then guess what? You become a prime candidate for having COVID-19. If you have damaged and diseased tissue inside of the body, you become a prime candidate for not only just getting COVID-19, but actually for it devastating your body. So who are the people who are the most likely to have, a nasty infection with COVID-19? Well, it's the people who have damaged lung barriers. It's the people who are taking ACE inhibitors, a blood pressure medication. It's the people who have type 2 diabetes, because listen, if you have type 2 diabetes, your soft tissues have been destroyed because of chronic elevated blood sugars, chronic elevated insulin levels. So this is why type 2 diabetics, why they have problems with their skin. This is why they have problems with their red blood cells. This is the reason why they have problems with their joints. This is the reason why they have problems with infections. So the thing is, guys, when you think about it, what is COVID-19? Who is it affecting the most? It's affecting the people who have the damaged tissue and who never stop picking at the scab. I want you to think of this, guys. Think of when this all went down in March. We have now had 8 months. You, watching at home, you've had 8 months to start working on your health, to start improving your immune response, to start improving your barriers, to start improving the ability of your body to create new immune cells and stem cells. You've had 8 months to improve your blood sugar. What I just showed you, a guy reversing type 2 diabetes, that happened literally in 3 to 4 months. Why? Because we understood you need to stop picking at the scab, and once that inflammation goes down, now your body can start to heal. So 3 to 4 months, he's doing great, but he still has some healing to take place. You've had 8 months, and you could have done unbelievable, awesome things with your health, so that this right here is the difference between it devastating your body and you being asymptomatic or feeling like you have a little bit of a cold, all right? So COVID-19, what does it attach to? It attaches to the scab and not the healthy tissue. So just remember this, guys, your body will never heal if it's always inflamed. Let me say that again. Your body will never heal if it's always inflamed. So what do we do in the wellness way? What do? We're really good at testing. We're really good at knowing what tests to get. We're really good at knowing how to look at a test from a different perspective, whether it's a lab, whether it's an x-ray, whatever it might be, because we're looking at it from a point of inflammation and not necessarily saying you have this disease. We're saying, why is the body inflamed? What are you doing to keep picking at it? And how is the body adapting to that? And we can understand that if you stop picking at the scab, the body then knows how to heal on its own. So where are you getting that inflammation from? Think of this. Physical stressors. How many of you are working on your physical stressors in relation to the brain, the spinal cord, the spine, and then the whole entire nerve system. Are you working on chemical inflammation? Let me ask you a question. How's your gut health? All right, this is a lot more than just throwing a probiotic at it. This is what a probiotic, someone who takes a probiotic is someone who hasn't learned about the gastrointestinal system, because probiotic is literally 6 steps downstream to bigger things that need to take place actually first. So have you gotten your food allergies done? Have you gotten a stool test done? Have you looked at other issues like your blood sugars? Have you looked at A1C? Have you looked at your insulin levels? Have you looked at your leptin levels? Have you looked at your C-reactive protein? Have you looked at your homocysteine levels? Have you looked at all of those different things when it comes to a lab? And then also, you'll never, ever, ever heal. You'll never heal if you're chronically stressed from a mental stress component. This is one of the reasons why there's so many people that we are working on trying to get better, why we give them so many different things for them to handle their mental stressors, things like California poppy, ashwagandha, kava, CBD, things, passion flower, things that can then calm down a mental response, because if that is always happening at a very high level, again, it's no different than actually picking at the scab. So how many of you are working on mental stressors, chemical stressors, and physical stressors? How many of you are working on that? Because when you can identify that, you then give the body permission to heal, because now you've stopped picking at the scab. Guys, if you can please do me a favor and please share this, because I know they're not talking about a certain condition or anything like that, but we're talking about looking at health conditions from a different perspective, and that's why we get the clinical results that we always do. So guys, I hope you found that enjoyable, and here's our announcement, guys. So this is going to be coming up in about 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, this is just our way of saying thank you to all you who watch. We love you. We appreciate you. So we want to actually give back to you during the month of December. So in December, starting, I believe it's on December 2nd, we will start on, I think it's the 2nd, which is a Wednesday. And we're going to be doing the 12 days of Christmas giveaways. You heard that right. So I will be going live every day during the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as well. And each one of those videos, I'm going to be going over an awesome health topic. So this health topic is going to talk about, should I take probiotics? We're going to talk about stomach acid, immune responses. We're going to talk about, should you detox, all right? Should you detox? So I'm just going over the top of my head. I've already made all of them. But we're going to be doing a short video, probably 10 to 15 minutes long. And your job during that is to just tag 5 people. So you're going to tag 5 people on that live video. And if you tag those 5 people, and we can see that, then we're going to enter you into a drawing. And each day we're going to be giving something away over the 12 days. And we tallied it up. It's over $2,000 worth of prizes. So some of them will only be eligible if you're here in this office, because obviously we can't mail a sauna to you. But we're going to be giving away lab testing. We're going to be giving away a sauna package. We're going to be giving away gym memberships. We're going to be giving away a ton of stuff, tons of supplements, apparel, gear, awesome stuff. So we are just going all out during this time just to give back and say thank you guys for making it an absolute joy to be able to come to you a couple of times a week and for you guys to be able to share that. So we'll give you a lot more details coming up closer, but just pay attention, because $2,000 of prizes over 12 different days. It's going to be awesome. I will also say this, is that if you tag 5 people just one time, I will guarantee you that you will win. So I will guarantee you that you will win something, because I have a secret up my sleeve so that all of you will win one thing, all right? Just one thing. Some of you might win a whole heck of a lot more. So guys, just keep your ear to the ground for this. We'll have a lot more announcements coming up, but let's help us spread the mission, okay? Things like we said today. Is your injury or is your illness more of an injury, or is it actually a true illness? And chances are, guys, it's an injury, and you got to stop picking at the scab. So guys, Make sure that you share this video. Tag a person who needs to hear this. Give them hope. Please give them hope. And like I said, I love you guys. I appreciate you very much. And we will see you guys very soon. All right? Be well.